Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. Go to f2bbs.com, www.f2bbs.com, the last bastion of free speech on the interweb. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the Pluta channel. Today guys, I'm doing a special video. This is video 21QA46. This is for Andrew. And Andrew was the guy who's, I got a bit cocky with him. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing Rolex Submariner date. This is the 126610 LN, the black bezel, black dial. Love this 41mm Submariner. Now, let's have a bit of a talk here. He said, hello, Andrew here again. Please don't use my last name. $50 sent to your PayPal for you to make a video on this topic. Well, fake me dead. Now that you brought me down a little and gotten rid of some of my pretensions, I would like you to make a video picking a combo meal deal hunger buster of about 10 or so heavy hitter watches. The only caveat is that the list must include only watches with a GMT, world time, or a dual time zone complication. Other than that, it's up to your whim what brand and price range you want to include. I'm sure each of us have a particular complication or two that really speaks to us. For me, that is the GMT, the world time, the dual time zone, and similar and such complications. And I hope this video will help build out my and viewers' collection. So firstly, what are we thinking of here? What are we thinking of? And number one slot, you gotta hit Patek Philippe world time. I mean, basically this here, I've got one. I've got the 5110, there's the 5130, and now the new 5230. Basically, this here was a complication that Patek stopped making. They made it in small quantities up until the mid-60s. Then it stopped. They didn't have any available. Then in 2000, year 2000, they relaunched the Louis Cartier world time mechanism. They relaunched it in the 5110. That's the one I've got. I got a yellow gold one. That would have to be the quintessential world time. That is what you think of. It's a fantastic watch. The other watch, which was the watch that came after that, Patek then had the 5130. It went, so the 5110 was 37mm, the 5130 was 39.5. It was bigger, had a different dial. Personally, I like the size of the 5130, but I like the dial of the 5110. Then Patek, then what did they do? They replaced that with the 5230. No more crown guards, completely redesigned it, made it very vintagey, and it was a 38.5mm. Some say it's perfect. I like each of these, so I gotta say those three watches there are probably the quintessential modern world times. Before that, as I said, Patek made them up until 1965, small numbers, and they sell for about $1 million. So I think the relaunched 2000 onwards ones are the ones you would consider there. Number two, let me tell you what I would say here. Another absolutely beautiful world time. What is this? I'm just going to get it up here. I got to tell you, one brand which I've been really impressed with, and their world time was Vacheron. That's correct. That is the brand itself there. I gotta tell you, man, they launched a patrimony Vacheron Patrimony World Time. Now that's kind of like saying the Patrimony is kind of their Calatrava equivalent. This is a beautiful watch. I've loved this watch. It's got the world map. Now, because on the Patek, the world map is a Calisse enamel dial, hand painted. They are an absolute fortune. So I would say the second choice would be a Vacheron Constantin Patrimony World Time. Absolutely love that watch. Interestingly enough, with the Vacheron, I believe it's got 36 time zones as opposed to Patek's 24, because it's got half-hour time zones. So it's quite an interesting spread there. It is very, very, very interesting spread. So the Vacheron Patrimony World Time, how do I put that? Absolutely gorgeous. It's an absolutely gorgeous piece there. Now I gotta say, the third contender here, absolutely third contender, I gotta say, is the Lange. The Lange. Now Lange themselves there, they've done some interesting things there. Lange itself there, they had a Lange 1 World Time. Now this is a interesting thing they did there. They had their own spin on this. It's called a Lange 1 Time Zone. It connects the world more closely than ever before. What the hell does it do? So this watch itself, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous piece, gorgeous piece. Its dial indicates home time and current time in a second time as, okay, so basically it's pretty well, it gives you two zones there. So it's the Lange 1, and that's called the time, what's it called? It's called the Lange 1 Time Zone. I think that's a interesting twist on that. It's quite a unique system. Not as nice as the Patek, I must say, but hey, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I gotta tell you, the fourth choice there in this category here, big heavy hitters, what would I say? You'd have to go Rolex GMT. Nah. It could be a GMT 1, it could be a GMT 2. You've got to hit it with Rolex. The original GMT 1s, they basically had a 24-hour hand that wasn't independently set, wasn't settable from the 12-hour time, and you would turn the bezel to adjust for different time zones. Then, when the GMT Master 2 came out, it was, you could alter that. So I gotta say, the Rolex GMT is very, it is legendary. Probably the greatest GMT function interpretation that's ever been out there. And the fifth watch, the fifth piece of worthy mentioning would be the Rolex Explorer 2. So the Explorer 2, it came out 1971, and it's the 50th anniversary this year. And what it did was, it had a fixed steel bezel. So it didn't rotate, which I reckon is a good thing, because to read 24-hour time is pretty hard for most people, especially if you've then got to add on the complexity of a bezel that turns. So a fixed bezel's a good idea. And then you've got the absolute beauty of having independently, you can set the 24-hour hand separately to the 12-hour hand. So it's a great way to go there. You know, the next piece which really kicks ass on this, the sixth piece, would of course be the JLC Reverso Duo. That's correct, the Reverso Duo. I think they were pretty damn clever. So you could flip it and have two different times, which pretty clever type of thing there. So the JLC Reverso Duo, that's pretty clever. I gotta tell you, a piece that you probably wouldn't expect me to mention, but I'm gonna mention this. One of my favorite dual time watches is a, here we go, it's called a Cartier Torno Dual Time. Now, these came out, if you were a money market trader, you wanted one of these here. The Torno, which had basically two independent watches with two crowns. Absolutely, I thought these were gorgeous. They did them in the 90s, and they were quartz. They only came out in quartz. I love that Torno shaped Cartier. They were absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I thought that was an amazing combo meal deal. 888. Now this is where I'm going to go to a brand that I love, JLC. This was the ArchieLuxury Master Geophysic. Was this it? Was the Master? No, that's not quite it. Just hang on, I'm just trying to, what is it called? They had this was what I like this piece. JLC Master, let's have a look here. I'm just gonna, what was it called? It was what was that? Here we go. They had this in a memo box as well. It's a that's actually quite, I don't really like that one. I'm not quite a big fan of that. Sorry, let's just back the truck up here. This piece, I'm just trying to, I want to find the one that I was really, really keen on. What was it called? I remember it was a JLC. I thought it was did they have a JLC Master Control? And it was I'm trying to remember what it was called. Master Control. I'm just trying to find, what was it called? What was it called? I'm just trying to remember. I am desperately trying to remember what this was called. What was it called? No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh yeah, ArchieLuxury Master Geographic. The Master Geographic. Sorry, JLC Master Geographic. I actually quite like that there. I thought that was actually a very interesting interpretation on that theme there. Absolutely gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Yes, that is a very cool way to go. Number 9, I tell you one that I really do like. These aren't very popular, so they're actually a bargain. It's an Omega Seamaster, and they had a GMT, Omega Seamaster GMT with the sword hands. They were absolutely, in the 90s, you would have killed for one, you know? You really would have killed for one of these here, because I remember these came out, they were so cool, but they seem to have, I don't know what happened to them. They just didn't seem, I'm just trying to find it. here we go. You know, there was Omega Seamaster. Could get them in a white dial as well, and that they were Seamaster GMT Pro divers. Yeah, they were amazing. I loved them because they were like the Seamaster in the Bond movie, but they were a GMT. Absolutely, positively loved that watch. I thought that was a cool GMT solution. And they're secondhand. They're nothing. Secondhand, you know, they're kind of like $2,500, which is peanuts. Peanuts. And I'm going to say, you know, for number 10, this is one that I really can't stand. I can't stand this because it's just so crappy. I'm going to add a crappy one. It's the Mont Blanc World Timer. That's right. And I got to be honest with you, that's not really, in my opinion, that's not really. It pretends to be a Vacheron or a Patek. You know, it's really quite abysmal how it's done. So yeah. So the Mont Blanc, I think that's the dud of the range. That's the Mont Blanc. What's it called? Mont Blanc World Time. That's what it's called. So there you go, guys. 10 GMT World Time type combos there. There you go. That's pretty to the point. Patek's the leader. Patek invented that space. That's where you go. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Don't be afraid to put some comments below. And remember, guys, I can't survive on Google Ads. I desperately need paid reviews to survive. Without these paid reviews, I can't survive full-time on YouTube. I will see you in the next one. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.